What's going on, everyone? Bouse Phoenix here with another Warframe video, and today I wanted to put together a fun little speculation video for you guys based around a few questions. Should old primed Warframes get a visual rework? If so, why? How would it be implemented? Let's jump in and tackle these questions together. So recently we've received Necros Prime in all of his flappy golden gilded glory, and after looking at his character model, it made me realize how far the design of Prime things in Warframe have come, and that realization got me on the path of thinking that created this video. Anyway, with the last several Prime frame releases, it seems like Digital Extremes is continually upping their game in terms of the detail in each new Prime Warframe design. Pretty much since Trinity Prime, we've been seeing a lot of things like more advanced cloth physics, more quote-unquote moving parts, and general overall visual fidelity. For better or for worse, whether you like the way these Warframes look or not, you can't really deny the fact that the designs of our most recent Primes are very, let's say, robust. Now, it's been very interesting to see Warframe evolve over the almost 4 years it's been out. Through that time, we've received countless graphical and mechanical updates to the game, and that's one of the interesting things about an MMO-type game like Warframe. What I'm trying to say is, Warframe isn't a single-shot game with totally standalone sequel games that have updated engines, graphics, and mechanics like Dark Souls or Crysis, for example. We're not going to get Warframe 2, at least not anytime soon, and what that gives us is something akin to a living organism. Warframe has grown with us as players, with the gaming industry, and more or less with the times, and over that time of growth, we're going to see new character iterations and evolving graphical and artistic design in the game as the developers grow themselves. For example, we've already seen some of this in the form of premium Warframe skins and PBR updates. So my point to all this, and what we can see if we look hard enough in the game, are revenants of Warframe's past. Old Prime Warframes with a little more detail on them than their non-primed counterparts. Take Mag Prime, for example. She really doesn't look all that different from her normal counterpart, does she? She has a similar body design, a slightly different helmet, and some gold pieces where the metal-looking stuff is. Now, let's fast forward and compare the most recent Prime Warframe and his non-prime counterpart. This is Necros Prime, and we can see here that he looks vastly different from his normal version. He's got the added cloth physics, arm things, and a much more detailed and dynamic design compared to his original self. So all of this brings us back to the questions that I asked at the beginning of the video. Should old Prime Warframes be visually reworked to fit the current style of the game? Why should they, and how would this graphical update be implemented? Let's take a look at the first part of the question. Should they be visually reworked? Honestly, I think a fresh coat of paint on anything gives it new life, because think about this. None of the Warframes are really irrelevant in this game. Old as they may be, I still use Frost Prime, Ember Prime, and Mag Prime quite often, and to great effect. It's just that when I play them, I see that visually they could be greatly updated, and here's the cool part. If the new visual versions of these primed Warframes were released, maybe it could be tied into lore somehow. Imagine Frost or Mag Prime having something called Primed Battle Regalia, and the item text is something like, "As the old war drew to a close, Tenno donned this special gear as an intimidation tactic to strike fear in the hearts of their foes." You know, I know that sounds kind of nerdy, but I'm just spitballing here. Anyway, let's move on to the second and third question. Why should these updates be released, and how would they be implemented? For this one, I'm going to answer from the perspective of Digital Extremes as a business. Now, bear with me here, because I'm going to take both sides, so move your mouse pointer off the dislike button for a second. Okay. So it's pretty obvious that full visual reworks of a Warframe or item take time and resources to design. You have to pay artists for concept art, 3D modelers to sculpt the characters, and animators to bring these creations to life. This is expensive, right? Well, from DE's perspective, this could be a great investment if there's enough demand for it. On top of that, it might be in their best interest to revitalize old Warframes and bring their design into the new age of Warframe, as this could be very attractive, especially to old Warframe players that would love a new take on an old favorite. That being said, if new primed Warframe skins for old Warframes were to be implemented, it would probably be in the form of a pack, much like the premium skins are, which would probably cost players platinum. Now, from our perspective as players, this could probably suck. A lot of us really worked hard for those Prime Warframes, and some of us even bought the Prime access they were a part of. Shouldn't we be entitled to graphical updates? Honestly, I don't think we should be, because when we bought those frames, or traded for them or whatever, we bought them as they were with no promise as to what they might be. In my opinion, I would see it like the premium skins. They would be purely cosmetic, with no in-game advantages, and they wouldn't be necessary. If you like the way the old versions of the Warframes look, you could still have that. It would totally be up to you as a player. Anyway, like I said at the beginning of the video, I just thought this would be a fun speculation as to what we could see in the future of Warframe. I mean, just imagine Frost Prime with some badass cloth physics. How cool would that look? But what I'm most interested in knowing is what you guys think about all of this. Should older primed Warframes be visually reworked? If so, which ones would you like to see first? What would they look like? Let me know in the comments. But that's gonna do it for me today, folks. I really hope you enjoyed this video because I was super excited to make it for you. If you had a good time watching it, consider leaving a like down below. Additionally, if you're new here, consider subscribing. If I get enough of you hanging around, maybe we can convince DE to hire me so I can add more waifus to the game. Until next time, though, I'm Phoenix. I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.